All right. So we're going to be picking up where I left off in the last video. Okay. We're still solving multi-step equations. So in solving these, notice now I have an additional number that is adding to what's in my parentheses. So in order to solve this, I can either distribute first or I can move what's outside the parentheses. Now, in another example, moving what's outside the parentheses will not be a possibility. For this one, it is because we do not have a variable with this number. So I'm going to work this one out doing distributive property. I find this the easier method. So I'm going to do 2 times 1 plus 2 times a negative x and bring down what has not been used yet. 2 times 1 minus 2x plus 3 is equal to a negative 8. Now, combine my like terms. So in this case, the 2 and the 3 are my like terms. So 2 plus 3 is 5 minus 2x equals to negative 8. Now guys, remember doing combining like terms, using inverse operations, that is all to give us equivalent equations so that way we can isolate the variable. So now I've got a 5 that's over here by itself with no variable. Remember, I have to undo that first. So it's positive. So I'm going to subtract it from both sides. Okay, guys, when I talk about both sides, remember that's the equal sign. So negative 2x is equal to negative 13. Okay, now all I've got left is what's multiplying to x. So I can divide by a negative 2. So x is equal to, whoops, and I'm going to move that up. X is equal to, okay, 13 and 2 don't simplify, but a negative divided by a negative is a positive. So 13 divided by 2, or we could say x is equal to 6.5. Okay, so in our solution here is either 13 over 2 or 6.5. And those are the exact same number, just written in a different format. All right, so let's look at another one. So in this one, I've got 15 is equal to 5 plus 4 times 2 minus d. All right, so I am going to do the distributive property first. So we get 15 is equal to 4 times 2 d plus 4 times negative 3. Okay, so we get 15 is equal to 5 plus 8d minus 12. Okay, now we can combine our like terms. So my like terms in this case are 5 and negative 12. So we get 15 is equal to 5 plus a negative 12 is negative 7. So I get 8d minus 7. I could also write that as a negative 7 plus 8d. All right. Inverse operation. Undo addition, subtraction first. So I'm going to add 7 to both sides. So 15 plus 7 is 22. which is equal to 8d. Now that I've got this, I can divide both sides by 8. Canceling it out there. 22 divided by 8, which gives me 11 over 4. Which is also the same thing as saying D is equal to 2.75. All right, so I mentioned earlier that we could have done problems similar to this where I got rid of this number first. There are cases where that's not going to be possible. Okay, and here's one of those. Notice here my number outside has a variable. So, because of that, I can't just move this over to the other side to get rid of it. All right, I am going to have to do the distributive property and then combine my like terms from there. So, I'm going to do my distributive property. Negative 4 times 2m minus 4 times 5. Bring down my negative 3m equal to 35. Okay. So we end up with a negative 8m minus 20 minus 3m is equal to 35. So again, combine your like terms. Take the sign in front. Do not drop that off. So negative 8m plus a negative 3m, which is negative 11m, minus 20 equal to 35. So we're back to this where we have a two-step equation. Okay, so we're using inverse operations and going to add my 20 to both sides. So we get negative 11m is equal to 55. Divide both sides by negative 11 because 11 is multiplying to m and we are looking to isolate m. So we get m is equal to negative 5. And there is our solution for this problem. All right. So I'm going to take a minute and pause and let you look at this problem, and then I will start working it out. All right, so the first step is to do the distributive property. Now on this one, when I distribute, I'm going to make sure I distribute the negative with it. So 13 is equal to 3y, because we haven't done anything with that yet. Okay, minus negative 2 times y minus 2 times negative 4. which gives me 13 is equal to 3y minus 2y plus 8. Now, we got the plus because a negative times a negative is a positive. All right, combining my like terms. So we get 13 is equal to, 3y plus a negative 2y is just y, or 1y, plus 8. From here, I'm going to subtract 8 on both sides. And I get 5 is equal to y. All right, so there you have it. Y is equal to 5. All right, so that's all for this. And there we go.